Hey everyone, Jake here for American Trucks, and I'm gonna start calling May Mid-Size Truck Month. With first drives of the new Colorado and Canyon, the promise of a final reveal of a new Toyota Tacoma, the incoming Colorado Bison, plus Ram's long-rumored midsize, and now the Ford Ranger, May is shaping up to be a great month for mid-size truck fans. It's nice to see some smaller options out there, and Ford has arguably led the charge with revitalizing this segment of the market. And while it may not look all that dissimilar from the outgoing Ranger, there are some major changes underneath for 2024 and beyond. Now, Ford is only showing one bed and cab configuration at the moment, a crew cab with a 5-foot bed. No word on if or when the extended cab and or long bed option may come about, but a spy shot did seem to show an extended cab out for hot weather testing. Now, dimensionally, the new Ranger is a bit bigger than the old truck, but not by a whole lot. Riding on the T6 platform that also underpins the Bronco, the Ranger's wheelbase has grown 1.9 inches, while overall length is roughly the same. Overall width is up 2.3 inches, which means that you get more space both in the cabin and in the bed. Speaking of, that bed can now fit a 4-foot sheet of plywood or drywall between the wheel arches, and there's even an available 400-watt inverter with outlets in the bed, plus some cool available zone lighting, and that's going to allow you to control different lights around the truck, make setting up a campsite or finding something in the bed all that much easier. That tailgate can also double as a workbench with integrated clamp pockets and a ruler like you would find on the bigger brother F-150. Now, inside the cab, you'll find a total refresh. It's a little bit Bronco, a little bit F-150, but all Ranger and all new, and it makes for a clean, modern-looking cabin. The center stack gets new screens, either a standard 10-inch unit or a huge optional 12-inch vertical screen with Ford's Sync 4A system. And reportedly, that big screen even has some games on it, as in you can play Sudoku on your center screen. But just don't do that while you're driving. Thankfully, the new truck also retains some physical controls for important features such as volume, fan speed, etc. Similar again to what you'd see on an F-150 or even in the Bronco. And I think Ford really strikes a nice balance between having the screen that works really well, plus some physical controls for the things that you need to be able to do while driving without looking. Now, the instrument cluster is also replaced with a digital display similar to that in the Bronco. So if you've driven a Bronco, this is going to look very familiar to you. An 8-inch display is standard with a full 12.4-inch screen as an option. There's also more storage and more space in the cab too. You get a new electronic shifter for Lariat 4x4 and Raptor trims, and that means that on those two, you get trailer backup and automated parking as an option. They can now be had on a Ranger, which is great news. There's also new storage bins under the rear seats, and that rear seat also folds flat for a nice flat load floor inside of the cabin. All of that is small potatoes compared to what lies underneath, because there's some big news here too. The one thing that does stay the same is the 10-speed automatic transmission. That's the only one that's going to be available. The standard engine is still the 2.3-liter EcoBoost 4-cylinder from the old truck, still making that 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. But that powertrain got really good reviews, and owners seem to like it in the old trucks too, so it's nice to see it continued here. But the big news comes in the form of the optional 2.7-liter EcoBoost V6. Same one found in the Bronco and the F-150, here offering 315 horsepower and 400 pound-feet of torque, which is the most in the mid-size class. Ford heard our cries that we wanted more power, more cylinders, and you're getting it. Both 4-wheel drive and 2-wheel drive are available, with 4-wheel drive trucks having the further option of a shift-on-the-fly system. FX4 package trucks also get Ford's Trail Control off-road cruise control system, which is a neat thing to see included in here, makes it very capable. Now, Ford engineers updated the box steel frame, stretched it to give the truck a wider track as well, but the bigger story here is that the shocks moved outboard in the rear for better on and off-road stability. So instead of being inset from the frame rails, they're now mounted on the outside. All Rangers also benefit from improved ground clearance as well as better approach and departure angles too, meaning that they're more capable off-road as well. Maximum available towing capacity remains at 7,500 pounds, with an increased payload rating now up to 1,805 pounds. You can get a full suite of driver aids available too, including Pro Trailer Backup, trailer reverse guidance, adaptive cruise control, active park assist 2.0, and a 360 camera. So it's still slated to be a very capable truck, but very civilized for the day-to-day. However, I've been holding out on you because, as some of you have probably already seen, there's even bigger news. Rejoice, my friends, the Ranger Raptor is finally here. That's right, in Ford's quest to Raptorfy everything in their lineup, we are finally getting a Ranger Raptor on North American shores. And as you would expect, it kicks things way up. Like other Raptors, this one is less about rock crawling and more about Baja-style high-speed dune running. It features unique suspension with 2.5-inch Fox live valve internal bypass shocks, coilovers at the front, remote reservoirs in the rear for reduced heat buildup to achieve the long travel Ford was looking for. Other new hardware includes Raptor-specific aluminum control arms up front and an all-new Watts-Link setup in the rear, plus a ton of reinforcements for the chassis. Front frame rails, front shock towers, rear shock brackets, suspension mounting points, and more are all reinforced versus the standard Ranger, so this thing should be able to take a beating out in the dunes or basically wherever you take it. Those Fox shocks are also electronically adjustable through the truck's 7 different drive modes, so you can really fine-tune how it responds depending on the conditions you're encountering. And there's also a heck of a lot more firepower under the hood. Again, Ford heard the cries, and the Raptor is getting an exclusive 3-liter EcoBoost V6, pumping out 405 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. But it's not just about turning up the boost or boring this one out versus the regular standard Ranger's 2.7. Nope, the Raptor's engine features a compacted graphite iron cylinder block, so it's super strong, and there's even an anti-lag system built in. Put the truck in Baja mode and that system is going to keep the turbo spinning for up to 3 seconds after the driver has taken the foot off the accelerator. So in a normal turbocharged vehicle, if you take your foot off the accelerator, the turbo is going to slow down, you're not going to make as much boost. But with this one, if you're out blasting through the dirt, you need to remove your foot for a moment to stabilize the truck. This system is going to keep the engine in boost, so you're not waiting for power to build back up again once you hit the accelerator again. It's a really trick system, makes me think of old World Rally cars, and with that active exhaust that you have available in the Raptor 2, it's probably going to sound pretty darn cool too. Now it's going to funnel all that power through an exclusive 4-wheel drive system with a 2-speed transfer case, plus front and rear lockers. There's also plenty of protection in the form of a big bash plate up front, as you can see in the photos, plus shields for the engine, transfer case, and the fuel tank. So it's going to be able to take a beating for sure. Getting you going are standard 33-inch BF Goodrich K03s on 17-inch wheels, and those wheels are bead lock capable. And you can snag that option right out of the Ford accessory catalog. So if you know you're going to be doing some really heavy duty wheeling or some rock crawling, you can make that option happen and you don't have to buy brand new wheels to do it. Now that big wheel and tire combo is going to add an additional 3.5 inches of width to the track, with the overall width being increased by 4.3 inches thanks to those big fender flares. So this is going to be quite a bit wider than the standard Ranger, and it looks every bit as imposing as you might think it would. Plus, you get the grille with that big Ford lettering, some cool Raptor-specific graphics at the rear. Now inside, it's going to be similar to your standard Ranger, with some additional color accents, sport steering wheel, and some unique sport seats to give you that extra special Raptor feel. But you do get the same instrument panel and center screens with CarPlay, Android Auto, and an available Bang & Olufsen sound system. So just like other Rangers, it's still going to be very civilized out on the street. Rangers will be available in XL, XLT, and Lariat trims, with the Raptor rounding out the top of the lineup. Now pricing isn't set yet, they haven't announced it exactly, but it's slated to start around $35,000 and go up from there. Ford did say that order books are going to open later this month, with the trucks expected to hit dealer lots in late summer. More information to come, and hopefully we're going to get a test drive of the full Ranger line in the not too distant future, so keep your fingers crossed for that. In the meantime, let us know what you think in the comments. Now, I'm personally pretty excited about all of these new Rangers, and hopefully you share that sentiment. But in any case, let us know what your thoughts are. We've got new product videos, builds, and hopefully even more truck news coming your way very soon, so be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thank you all for watching, and as always, for all things truck, be sure to stick with us right here at AmericanTrucks.com.